We're kicking off our 9th season of Hardee's Friday Night Blitz with our annual preview special.
We'll show you who to keep an eye on and the biggest matches this season. It's the best high school football coverage in the Blue Ridge. Now, it's time for the Hardee's Friday Night Blitz High School Football Preview, only on WFXR. Powered by Hardee's.
Yes, hello everyone, I'm Jermaine Ferrell. Hope your day is wonderful and blessed. Welcome to our annual Hardee's Friday Night Blitz preview. Over the next 30 minutes, we get you ready for the 2025 high school football season. We begin the show with some of the storylines for the upcoming season. Now, Auburn High School varsity football is back. Now, last year's team, mostly made up of freshmen and sophomores, only had one senior on the roster. So they decided to focus on a junior varsity schedule, but this year with improved numbers, they are on the varsity run. Now the Eagles will open up the season at home next Friday as they will play James River. Well, after 6 years, Lynchburg's Virginia Episcopal School is returning to 11-man football. After playing an 8-man football schedule, they'll be playing in the VISAA, and their first game will be September 6th as they will host Blue Ridge School. Well, this school year, Smith Mountain Lake Christian Academy will be members of the Virginia High School League. They are the second private school to join the league. Now, the Ospreys will be competing in the Dogwood District and in the Class 1 Region B of the VHSL. Well, 3 of our local schools will be in new districts. The Rockbridge County Wildcats are leaving the Valley District to join the Shenandoah District. Also, the Allegheny Cougars will be going from the Three Rivers District to join the Shenandoah District with Rockbridge County. And finally, the Martinsville Bulldogs, they are leaving their longtime home in the Piedmont District as they are going to the Three Rivers District. Where we're going to look at some teams that played for state championships, and Miriam Chamberlain joins us now. She shares the story of the Liberty Christian Bulldogs and their drive for a 3rd straight VHSL Class 3 state title.
That's right, Jermaine. It's a team everyone will be watching yet again this season. LCA is riding high and hard at work. This fall, the back-to-back defending state champions are chasing a three-peat. And for each Bulldog, they know the road ahead is not going to be easy. I caught up with the team to get insight on what could be an historic year for them.
There's a standard of excellence at Liberty Christian Academy, and it's one the Bulldogs have no intention of lowering anytime soon.
The formula is something we've been doing for a long time, and you know, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, you know, so we're going to keep riding it.
It'll be head coach Frank Rocco's 20th season at the helm, and under his leadership, the Bulldogs are currently riding a 28-game winning streak.
We're just so blessed, so fortunate to be able to have experienced this over this period of time. And specifically these last 2 years, we've had a great group of young men that have been the nucleus of our team. You know, now all playing college ball at different places.
LCA went 14-0 last season, winning their 2nd straight VHSL Class 3 title with a 42-6 win over Kettle Run.
Like, there's always a target on our back. You know, everybody wants to beat LCA. Everybody wants to take down like the top dog. We're 2-time state champs, but it's, you know, I want more.
The Bulldogs return a strong core of leaders and experience, each of them confident in preparing to be their best.
Every year is going to be a challenge, and every year we have to perform and go out there 100% in each game. But we also have to understand that, like, what we have done and the teams before us and the legacy that they have built that we just built off of.
You know, we never go into a game thinking, oh, this is going to be an easy game. Like, we really have to keep on locking in. You know, we can't take any game lightly, no matter who the opponent is.
As the new season kicks off, LCA look to not only try to stay on top, but aim to make history with a 3rd straight title.
We are like the 2-time state champions, but you can't have an ego about it. You know, you got to wear the legacy of the players before you, like, on your shoulders.
Now we have another year to go again and win another state championship. It's not just like, hey, we've already done it, we're gonna do it. It's like, no, we want the hard times to come so that we can push through and build as a team and build up one another.
So with a winning streak on the line and another state title to defend, all eyes will be on LCA as they take the field this fall.
Well, there you have it. And as a reminder, LCA does open up the season on August 30th at Ironton, Ohio, as a part of the Ohio versus USA Kickoff Classic. Jermaine, back to you.
Well, thank you so much, Miriam. Now, the North Cross Raiders, they're led by Dwayne Priest. He's in his 2nd season with the program. That last year, North Cross bid for a three-peat themselves came up short as they lost at Blue Ridge 18-16 in the VISAA Division II title game. Now, Priest and the Raiders are geared up for another strong season.
fighting to the end and we came up short, that's part of the game of football. But, going into this year, our mindset is different. Now the guys understand my philosophy and what we expect as a coaching staff. So you will see it now, coming out this first game, a lot of playing fast, playing physical. They was just starting to get to know the coaching staff and getting to know my style of play. So, we started a little slow last year, but, this year I feel like we only lost 4 guys. So with the guys we got coming back, they know what we expect.
I feel like the main thing that we need to start to do is this coming up year, I feel like we have a lot of new Moye recruits coming in from down south, across seas, up north, out west, everywhere around. Some new local players as well. So I feel like we need to reconnect, reflect on us seniors, me, Tristan, Zill, Big Nate. We need to reflect on what we can improve better now and what we can do better in the off season, starting into 2 of these and then starting to scrimmage into our first game against NSA.
Revenge. I wouldn't even call it revenge because the way we came together this year, I feel like no one is standing in our way. The recruiting we've done, the time we put off in the off season through the spring, right after the football season in December, all that plays a role. So I'm anxious for the season to see what we hold as we come together as a full team.
Now, Norcross, they opened up the season on the road tonight against Nansemond Suffolk. Well, WFXR Weekend sports anchor Ryan Moye is in the house to talk about Grayson County's great playoff run last season and what they plan to do for an encore.
Yeah, that's right, Jermaine. The Grayson County High School football team has continued to find success each year under head football coach Stephen James, especially after last year's state final run. I got the chance to catch up with the Blue Devils about how they're looking to return to the finals.
The expectations are high, obviously, but, you just got to go out there and do what we can, and hopefully we get back to where we were last year, but with a different outcome.
After 3 straight 10-win seasons last year, the Grayson County High School football team finally punched their ticket to the VHSL Class 1 state finals, but fell to Essex 22-0. Now the Blue Devils begin their 2025 campaign, and even though they lost a few players, the winning mindset is still in play.
You got to flush the bad things mostly, but the things that worked out for us, like the comeback wins, we got to keep those in our mind and allow those to help us out when we get later in the season and early in the season too. With the way we started last year, we just got to let that kind of come into play at the beginning of this season so it can help us out a little bit.
I think we learned a lot, as far as the hurricane and everything hitting and going through injuries and everything. I think that's probably going to help us going into this season and kind of learning how to deal with things when they don't go your way and just coming back from that, as far as comeback wins go and everything like that.
Grayson County head football coach Stephen James has spent the past 4 seasons at the helm of the Blue Devils football program, building it from the ground up. In the past 3 years, he's seen his team win 30 games. This season, his squad begins the year with 5 tough non-district games.
Allegheny's, that's our first game, has been since I've gotten there, and we're behind 8 ball when we play them because they've already played a full game, a real game in North Carolina. But those have all been competitive games, and then I think we got Carroll the second week, and then we've added 2 new teams, Tazewell and Virginia High. That's probably going to be a pretty tough little run there with those first 5 games, but hopefully it's going to prepare us for what we need to do down the road too.
As the Blue Devils look to return to championship contention, for the senior leaders on the team, hitting the field for the last time this year takes on a special meaning.
Definitely don't want it to end, but it's a good feeling knowing that I get to come back and play one last season with guys that I've grown up with. So that's a good feeling.
The bus rides are definitely fun. They're an experience for sure that the seniors are definitely going to miss, and that'll be hard not being able to do those again. But we look forward to them.
Well, of course, Jermaine, they open up the season against Allegheny. That's a North Carolina squad. A lot of those squads, we see a lot of our local area teams playing a lot of North Carolina squads this year, of course.
Yeah, it's going to be a full schedule with that. Well, Ryan, as usual, thank you so much. Now, up next on a Hardee's Friday Night Blitz preview, we go to James River High School, where the Knights have a familiar face and an alum as their new head coach. The Jack Baker story is next. Plus, we get Ryan Moye, one mo again. He goes to Campbell County for the story of Logan Thomas coming back home to help his alma mater in Brookville. This is the Hardee's Friday Night Blitz preview.
It's the best high school football coverage in the Blue Ridge. Hardee's Friday Night Blitz High School Football Preview is back only on WFXR.
Well, in the Hardee's Friday Night Blitz area, we have 13 schools entering the 2025 season with new head coaches. Some are familiar names with a new address. Now, Chatham, they have a new head coach, and Cavaliers alum Josh Brumfield taking over for Bruce Devlin. Fort Chiswell alum Corey Mabry takes over for the Pioneers for Zane Quisenberry. Galaxy Maroon Tide's new head coach is Travis Reed as he replaces Shane Allen. Giles assistant Sam Wright was promoted to the Spartans head coach, replacing Jeff Williams. Former Hidden Valley assistant Bud Tolliver takes over the program for Scott Weaver. James River alum Jack Baker becomes the Knights head coach, replacing Tim Jennings. More on Baker in a minute. Liberty Minutemen assistant Brian Womack takes over the program on an interim basis for Darrell Robinson. Marion assistant Billy Testerman takes over as Scarlet Hurricanes head coach for Jack Ginn. Nelson County assistant Ben Butler becomes the Governor's head coach, replacing Jack Baker. Rockbridge County assistant and alum Zach Rodenizer is the Wildcats' new head coach, taking over for Martin Cox. Rural Retreats Quentin Hensley takes his second stint as Indians head coach, replacing Jamie Hughes. Rustburg gets their third head coach in 3 seasons, with Trey Ross replacing Dustin Russell for the Red Devils. Stanton River assistant Clay Fazell replaces Sean Leonard as Golden Eagles head coach. Now, as I mentioned earlier, a familiar face is back as the head coach of the James River Knights football team. Now, Jack Baker left Nelson County High School to return to his alma mater to be the head coach. Coach Baker's father was athletic director and head coach of the Knights back in the 1960s. And over his 29-year career, Jack Baker served as head football coach at several schools in our area, including Nelson County, Perry McClure, Rustburg, and Allegheny High Schools. Now, he is exactly where he wants to be.
It's very exciting to coach kids that are kind of walking the same path that you walked. And obviously that was a long time ago. I mean, 1990 doesn't seem that long to me, but it's, for these kids, I mean, I know their grandparents. So it's been quite a while, but it's exciting to be doing similar things that I did 30 years ago.
Now, circling back last year at Nelson County, you did have some health issues. If you could talk a little bit about that, and how are you recovering and how are you feeling right now?
Suffered a stroke middle of September. We had played Prince William on Friday night. I mowed grass. I did football work on Saturday. I mowed grass. I did football work on Sunday. I went to practice on Monday. Nothing. I woke up Tuesday morning and I'm driving up 29 towards Nelson, and I can't get my left arm to wake up, but I just thought it was one of those things, you know. But it was the onset of a stroke. I don't know where it came from, if blood pressure, you know, I don't know. And nobody still to this day has really pinpointed why I had it. I'm not in horrible shape. I'm not in great shape. But you know, yeah, I had a stroke and spent a week in the hospital and 2 weeks in rehab. And my biggest fear in all of that was that I wouldn't be able to coach again, or I wouldn't be able to do some of that again. And Nelson was, I got to give a lot of credit to Greg Mullins. You know, they wanted me back on the sideline, and within about 3 weeks I was back at practice, and step by step I ended up back on the sideline. In the playoff game I was out of the box and back on the sideline. So it's you know, and I got to give a lot of credit to their athletic director who went to a lot of effort to make that happen, and the people in general at Nelson County who were very good about that. But you know, I don't do everything exactly like I did, but I think I'm pretty normal, and I hope that these kids get a good head coach at James River, somebody that's not worried about a stroke.
All right, well, you've known him as a Brookville High School football star, Virginia Tech quarterback, and Washington Commanders tight end. Now you can add coach to Logan Thomas's illustrious resume. I got the chance to talk with him about how his new role with the Brookville High School football team is going.
Familiar faces in familiar spaces.
This has always been home, and it always will be home, and I've always been a very loyal individual, just based off of my times at Virginia Tech and even playing in the league. So being home, it doesn't feel any different for me being home.
Earlier this year, former NFL tight end and Lynchburg native Logan Thomas returned to his alma mater as an assistant coach for the Brookville High School football team.
I'm just thankful that I have the opportunity to do so. I did have a great career, played a lot of football. You know, when you play since you were the age of 9, you get out at 33. It's a lot of years of football there, and so I'm just very thankful that I have this opportunity.
Thomas brings with him a wealth of football knowledge, which is already influencing the players on the team.
Stuff as far as route running, you think that I play wide receiver, I should know everything, but just little stuff about like stacking inside and then breaking out, stuff like that, you really want to think about, or just getting different leverages to, to get open, which is pretty cool. I think that's something that, within like the first couple weeks, he kind of taught us. I thought it was really cool because you didn't really think about stuff like that.
Thomas's mere presence has also brought a sense of excitement to the program, a program that went 3-7 last year.
I mean, it's so cool, like, think that you have like an NFL player, and he knows so much. It's just the little things that you never really pick up on that matters the most. Like some things you never really hear, and it's just so cool to like learn from him and just try to be like him.
It's nothing but a blast, and yeah, you got to get on him from time to time, but I do it from a place of love, and I think all the players know that I come from a place of love, but one of the things that I feel like I can bring is just a little bit of excitement, a little bit of joy, and an outside perspective on what the game really is. It's not always going to be sunshines and rainbows, but sometimes it's going to be tough, gritty days where, you got to put a smile on your face and go to work.
With Coach Thomas on the sideline this season for the Bees, it sends a visual message that anyone can make their football dreams come true.
That's everybody's dream, is be an NFL player. So it's so cool to watch him come back and help us, and he's definitely helped us a lot. Just things that you wouldn't even think about. He knows. It's really cool how each coach pitches in their own little thing, and it's really cool, especially to have something like him.
Great work, Ryan. Still to come on the Hardee's Friday Night Blitz preview. 2 storied programs are being remembered in book form. That's the 1980 Giles State Championship team and the Pulaski County Cougars. This is Hardee's Friday Night Blitz preview.
It's the best high school football coverage in the Blue Ridge. Hardee's Friday Night Blitz High School Football Preview is back only on WFXR.
Well, we come to the literary part of the Hardee's Friday Night Blitz preview. A pair of books shining the spotlight on a pair of our storied football programs came out over the last 6 months. Now, back in 1980, the Giles Spartans went a perfect 14-0 en route to winning the Group AA state football titles. They beat Parkview Sterling 33-32. 45 years later, a book titled The Bandana Express by coach and author Jeremy Haymore documented the great team. Coach Haymore shares why he wrote the book on the Spartans.
My dad, he played for Narrows, which is in Giles County, in the late 60s. And he played for Bob Price, which was Harry Ragsdale's successor. And so they were still running a single wing. And he told me about it when I was growing up. And it's kind of fascinating. As we would go visit my grandmother, we'd pass Ragsdale Field, and as a small child, he'd say, "This is where I played at." And so that was kind of an interest point for me there.
Now, Haymore's book is the #1 new release in the football coaching category on Amazon, and you can purchase the book on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and Bookshop. Meanwhile, guess what we have? The Pulaski County High School has had a rich tradition when it comes to high school football, and a former Cougar football player did his part to share his passion for the program. Mason Clark is currently a coach and teacher at Fort Chiswell High School. He spent time to producing his 640-page book called The Days of Gold, Pulaski County Cougar Football. The book focuses on the history of the Pulaski football program from 1974 to 2002, and Clark has a strong motivation for putting the book together.
Kind of flirted with the idea of it for a while. I was going to do like a big website and everything, and I kind of always had an appreciation for the history of it. You hear about growing up with Coach Hicks, and he, even though he wasn't coaching anymore when I was growing up, he was still around, and it was, at least when I was a kid, it was always a very big point of pride. So you grow up going to every game and things like that, and I found some resources along the way, like a really good archive website where the Southwest Times, which is our newspaper in Pulaski County, they really documented everything very well. There's information and stats about just about every game that we had ever played.
Now, if you're interested in a copy of the book, you can get it on Mason Clark's Facebook page. Still to come on the Hardee's Friday Night Blitz preview, we put a wrap on things. Ryan and Miriam join me to talk about the upcoming high school football season. This is Hardee's Friday Night Blitz preview.
It's the best high school football coverage in the Blue Ridge. Hardee's Friday Night Blitz High School Football Preview is back only on WFXR.
All right, Ryan and Miriam, what are you guys looking forward to in this upcoming season?
Well, I think for me, because I have all the game of the weeks, I'm looking forward to that, gritty, hard, overtime games. You guys know how many times I was out there with some double overtime, it was insane. But that means the teams are ready to come, and whoever won, that was for them. So, I mean, Ryan, what do you think?
I want to see Grayson County and that player of the year of ours running back to a state title game. I want to see what happens with them.
Yeah, I can't tell the Go Twins apart. If they walked in here today, I'd be like, when they were here for media days, it was pretty tough. Well, guys, we're going to have fun because it's right on. Next week we get it going. So again, that does it for this edition of our Hardee's annual Friday Night Blitz preview. For Ryan Moye, Miriam Chamberlain, I'm Jermaine Ferrell. Hope all of your teams are winners. Don't forget, next Friday night, 10:30, we're going to hook you up with the 9th season opener of the Hardee's Friday Night Blitz.